Our lesson is about half-angle identities. So here are the formulas for half-angle identities. For sine alpha over 2, that is equal to positive negative square root of 1 minus cosine alpha all over 2. And for the cosine alpha over 2, that is equal to positive negative square root of 1 plus cosine alpha all over 2. But for tangent function, pag hinanap mo ang half-angle identity for that, meron kang tatlong formulas na pwede mong pagpilian. So, first is tangent alpha over 2, that is equal to positive negative square root of 1 minus cosine alpha all over 1 plus cosine alpha, where your cosine alpha should not equal to negative 1. And second, you can use also equals 1 minus cosine alpha all over sine alpha, where your sine alpha should not equal to 0. And the third one, that is equal to sine alpha over 1 plus cosine alpha, where cosine alpha is not equal to negative 1. So, these are the formulas. So, let's start our problem. Number 1. Use the half-angle identities to find the exact value of each trigonometric function. So let's have example number 1, sine 7 pi over 12. Since we need to use the half-angle identity to find the exact value of this one, so we will let alpha over 2 is equal to 7 pi over 12. And if you've changed 7 pi over 12 into degree measure, that is equal to 105 degrees. And we all know that 105 degrees is located in quadrant 2. And in quadrant 2, your sign is positive. And to find the exact value of this one, here is our formula. So you have sine alpha over 2 is equal to positive negative square root of 1 minus cosine alpha all over 2. And if you will observe, meron kang dalawang signs na pagpipilian. Is it positive or is it negative? So saan manggagaling yun? Manggagaling yun sa quadrant 2. Since in quadrant 2, the sign is positive, meaning positive ang magiging sign mo dyan. So here now is our formula. So, sine alpha over 2 is equal to square root of 1 minus cosine alpha all over 2. You can see here the positive sign. Kasi pag positive sign yan, that is positive, meaning no need to write it. So, it's understood that is positive. And in this formula, we will be needing the value of our alpha. And since your alpha over 2 is equal to 7 pi over 12, coming from this one, makukuha mo yung value ng ating alpha. By eliminating, natanggalin lang natin ang over 2. To do that, we need to multiply both sides by 2 so that this 2 now becomes 1, so alpha na lang ang matitira. So, equals, our 2 here and 12 are both divisible both by 2, so meaning your 2 here becomes 1. Your 12 here becomes 6. So your alpha now is equal to 7 pi over 6. Since you have now the value for alpha, we can now find the exact value of sine 7 pi over 12. So again, here is our formula. So after this one, let's substitute. Okay, so let's start with sine alpha over 2. Let's substitute the value of alpha over 2, which is 7 pi over 12. So here it is. We have now sine 7 pi over 12, copy the equal sign, and then this time, let's substitute the value for alpha, which is equal to 7 pi over 6. So here it is. You copy 1, you copy the minus sign, you copy the cosine, and then you change alpha by 7 pi over 6. All over, let's copy the denominator, which is 2. Kaya po yan 2. And next, let's have equal. So this time, we need to find the exact value of cosine 7 pi over 6. So here it is. So we have the square root, and then you copy 1, you copy the minus sign, and then we find the exact value of cosine 7 pi over 6. Again, 7 pi over 6 is a special angle, meaning you can find the exact value of that. You can find this angle in our unit circle. So meaning you can find the exact value of cosine 7 pi over 6. And the exact value of that is equal to negative square root of 3 over 2. All over, again, let's copy the denominator, which is 2. Okay, so next step, let's have, so itong minus natin ng negative sign, let's simplify that. Actually, ito magiging plus lang naman. So here it is. So copy 1, itong minus and then the negative sign becomes plus. And then we have now square root of 3 over 2. All over, again, let's copy the denominator, which is 2. And the next step now, so you have now sine 7 pi over 12 is equal to, so let's simplify our numerator. So, let's add 1 and square root of 3 over 2. So, this time, the LCD is 2. And then 2 divided by 1, di ba magiging 1 over 1 yan? So, 2 divide 1, that is 2, times 1, that is 2. And then, sorry, actually ito yun. And then, let's have 2 divided by 2, that is 1, times square root of 3. That's why this one now is square root of 3. So, that's why it becomes this expression. And then, over, again, you copy the denominator 2. Kaya po ito ay 2. And, this one now, so, i-rewrite lang natin. This one now is a complex fraction. Usually naman, ang ginagawa natin is, ito yung nasa loob lang ng radical, ang simplify natin ha. Ang usually ginagawa natin, we copy the numerator, we change the operation from division to multiplication, and then change your denominator to its reciprocal. Para tuloy-tuloy na lang, tingnan mo na lang yung denominator mo. And yun na lang i-multiply mo, both numerator and denominator. Same lang din naman ang magiging result noon. The result will be the denominator becomes 1. So, since 2, the reciprocal of that is 1/2. So, meaning, we will multiply both sides by 1/2. So, this time now, the denominator becomes 1. Actually, paras lang yun yung process na ginagawa natin, ha? Copy the numerator, change the operation to multiplication, and then change your denominator to its reciprocal. So, paras lang itong ginagawa natin. And then, since this one now is 1, we can now simplify our numerator. So, that is equal to square root of, this one, we simply multiply numerator to numerator, denominator to denominator. That's why 2 plus square root of 3 times 1, here is the result, and 2 times 2, that is 4. Since ang denominator naman natin ay 1 na, no need to write it. So, this one now is our answer. But, in properties of radicals, it is stated that the square root of a fraction, that is the same as square root of A over square root of B. So, meaning, this expression, pwede ko siyang i-rewrite as. So, my numerator now becomes square root of 2 plus square root of 3 over square root of 4. So, this time, pwede mo siyang i-simplify numerator and denominator. So, you can have now the exact value of sine 7 pi over 12, and that is equal to. So, to simplify this one, actually, our numerator is simplified already. So, we remain that as square root of 2 plus square root of 3 over, let's simplify square root of 4. Square root of 4, that is equal to 2. And this one now is our final, the exact value of sine 7 pi over 12. Let's have example number 2. Find the exact value of cosine 165 degrees. Again, since we need to use the half angle identity to find the exact value of this one, so we will let alpha over 2 is equal to 165 degrees. And we all know that 165 degrees is located in quadrant 2. And in quadrant 2, your cosine is negative. And to find the exact value of this one, here is our formula. So you have cosine alpha over 2 is equal to positive negative square root of 1 plus cosine alpha all over 2. Again, in this formula, may dalawa ka ulit na signs sa pagpipilian. Is it positive or is it negative? So again, manggagaling yan from quadrant 2. And in quadrant 2, it says that cosine is negative, meaning sa dalawang yan, negative ang magiging sign natin. So here now is our formula. So cosine alpha over 2 is equal to negative square root of 1 plus cosine alpha all over 2. And in this equation, you need to find first the value of your alpha. And since alpha over 2 is equal to 165, coming from this expression, from this equation, kaya mong mahanap ang value ng ating alpha by multiplying both sides by 2 so that this 2 now becomes 1. So, alpha na lang ang natira ulit dyan. So, equals 165 degrees times 2, and that is equal to 330 degrees. Since you have known the value of your alpha, you can now start finding the exact value of cosine 165 degrees. Again, here is our formula. So, this time, let's substitute the value of alpha over 2 and this alpha. So let's start with cosine alpha over 2. So let's substitute the value of alpha over 2 by 165. So here it is. We have now cosine 165 degrees is equal to, you copy the negative sign and then square root. So this time, we will substitute the value for alpha by 330 degrees. That's why you copy 1, you copy the plus sign, you copy the cosine, and then you substitute the value for alpha by 330 degrees. Kaya 330 degrees na lang dito. All over, you copy the denominator which is 2. Kaya po yan ay 2. So next step, that is equal to, so this time, we will need to find the exact value of this cosine 330 degrees. So here it is. So you copy the negative sign and then square root. You copy 1, you copy the plus sign, and you find the exact value of cosine 330 degrees. Again, 330 degrees is a special angle, meaning you can find it in our unit circle. And the exact value of cosine 330 degrees is equal to square root of 3 over 2. All over, again, let's copy the denominator which is 2. So, ito po yan. And this time, let's simplify our numerator. So, that is equal to, again, you copy the negative sign and then square root. Let's simplify our numerator. So, to add that, we need the LCD. The LCD is 2. And diba, ito ay magiging 1 over 1. So, 2 divide 1. That is 2 times 1, that is equal to 2. Copy the plus sign. 2 divided by 2, that is 1 times square root of 3. That's why this one is square root of 3. All over, let's copy the denominator which is 2. Kaya po ito ay naging 2. And again, our cosine 165 degrees is equal to, so this time, ayan, nire-write lang natin ha yung ito. Same lang po ito nito. Since this one now is a complex fraction, syempre, to simplify that, ang ginagawa natin is copy the numerator, change the operation to multiplication, and change your denominator to its reciprocal. So, yun ang itatimes natin. Para hindi na natin gawin yun, using this expression, look at your denominator. So, find the reciprocal of that. That is 1/2. So, meaning yun ang i-multiply mo both sides. Numerator to numerator in our denominator. So, ayan, multiply na natin. And this time, our denominator now becomes 1. So, let's simplify. So, here it is. This one now is the result. So, you copy the negative 9, square root. 2 plus square root of 3 times 1, that is 2 plus square root of 3. 2 times 2, that is equal to 4. And again, using the properties of radicals, the square root of the fraction a over b, that can be also written as square root of a over square root of b. Meaning, I can rewrite this expression as this one. So, you copy the minus sign, and then our numerator now becomes square root of 2 plus square root of 3 over, we have now square root of 4. And we have now the exact value of cosine 165 degrees. That is equal to, again, you copy the negative sign rather. And then, our numerator, actually our numerator, simplified form na yan. Kaya, remain natin yan as square root of 2 plus square root of 3 over, let's simplify square root of 4, and that is equal to 2. So, here now is the exact value of cosine 165 degrees. Example number 3, find the exact value of tangent 105 degrees. Again, since we need to use the half angle identity again, to find the exact value of this one, we will let alpha over 2 is equal to 105 degrees. And here is our formula. Actually, sa tangent, diba, we have 3 formulas. But this time, I will choose this formula. Tangent alpha over 2 is equal to 1 minus cosine alpha over sine alpha. Bakit ito yung pinili ko? Kasi, hindi ko na kailangan mamili sa positive or negative. Automatically, by finding the value of this alpha, I can solve the exact value of this tangent 105 degrees. And, syempre, to start with that, we need to find first the value of our alpha. And since alpha over 2 is equal to 105 degrees, so again, let's multiply both sides by 2 so that this 2 becomes 1, and we can now get the value of this alpha. Then that is equal to, multiply 105 degrees by 2, and that is equal to 210 degrees. Since we have now the value for alpha, let's find the exact value of tangent 105 degrees. So, again, here is our formula. Same lang po yan sila ha. Nilawrite lang natin. And then, let's substitute the given values to our formula. Let's substitute the value of alpha over 2 by 105 degrees. So, here it is. We have now tangent 105 degrees equals. And this time, let's replace or substitute the value for alpha. Yan, yung dalawang alpha na yan, by 210 degrees. So, for this time, copy 1, copy the minus sign, copy the cosine, and then change alpha to 210 degrees. So, here it is. All over, copy the sign, again, change the alpha to 210 degrees. Ganyan na siya. So, that is equal to, let's simplify first our numerator. So, here it is. Copy 1, copy the minus sign, and then find the exact value of cosine 210 degrees. Again, the 210 degrees is a special angle. You can find it in our unit circle. And the exact value of cosine 210 degrees is equal to negative square root of 3 over 2. All over. So, let's find the exact value of sine 210 degrees. And that is equal to negative 1/2. So, the next step, so let's have tangent 105 degrees equals, again, let's simplify our numerator. Ito muna yung simplify natin. We have minus and then negative. Actually, magiging plus lang yan, di ba? So, here it is. We have now 1 plus square root of 3 over 2 all over. Let's copy the denominator, which is negative 1/2. And this time, let's simplify again our numerator. So, let's add 1 and square root of 3 over 2. So, we need the LCD. The LCD here is 2. So, here it is. So, since this one is 2, paano siya naging ganito? Diba ito ay 1 over 1? So, 2 divided by 1, that is 2 times 1. That's why it becomes 2. Copy the plus sign. 2 divided by 2, that is 1 times square root of 3. That's why square root of 3 po ito. Over, let's copy the same denominator, the denominator, which is negative 1/2. So, ayan. So, this time, this one now is a complex fraction. Again, to simplify that, let's find the reciprocal of 1/2, and that is equal to 2. So, let's multiply both numerator and denominator by 2. So that, our denominator now becomes 1. So, ito ay naging 1 na. And ito rin, pwede mo rin makancel. So, it becomes 1. So, the final answer now is 2 plus square root of 3 all over. So, this one now becomes a negative 1. And to simplify that, let's have the exact value of tangent 105 degrees equals. So, we can write this one. So, we have now negative times the quantity 2 plus square root of 3. Or, you can rewrite, pwede mong i-distribute yung negative sign natin. Or, you can have it negative 2 minus square root of 3. So, this one now is the exact value of tangent 105 degrees. Let's have another set of problem. Find tangent alpha over 2 if tangent alpha is equal to negative 4/3 and alpha is in quadrant 4. So, again, this one is our formula. Actually, in tangent, you have 3 formulas, but this time, I will use this formula to find tangent alpha over 2. And in this formula, we will be needing the value of sine alpha and cosine alpha. And to get the value of that two functions, gagamitin natin ang tangent alpha is equal to negative 4/3, which is yung given natin. And just take note that in quadrant 4, we have the positive and negative signs. So, in tangent, we all know that that is the value of y over x. So, meaning we have now the value for y is equal to negative 4. Again, kaya siya naging negative 4 kasi ang y natin in quadrant 4 is negative. And the value for x now is equal to 3. And since we're looking for the sine alpha, that is the value of y over r. And for the cosine alpha, that is the value of x over r. We have the value of y, we have the value for our x, but we don't have the value for r. So, let's find first the value of r. And to find that the value of that r, we need the Pythagorean theorem. And since we're looking for r, here now is our formula. So, let's substitute. So, that is equal to So we replace x by 3 and then we squared it. So 3 squared plus yung y natin is negative 4. So that's why naging negative 4 squared po siya. And then simplify. So that is equal to, so 3 squared that is 9 plus negative 4 squared that is 16. And by adding 9 and 16 that is equal to square root of 25. And to simplify this one, that is equal to r is equal to 5. Again, your r should be positive kasi according to the rule, r is always positive. So, this time, we have now the value of r. So, meaning makukuha na natin ang value ng sine alpha and cosine alpha. So, let's start with sine alpha. So, yung r natin ay 5. So, meaning, our sine alpha now is negative 4/5, while your cosine alpha now is 3/5. So, since alam na natin ang value ng sine alpha and cosine alpha, we can now use this equation to find the tangent alpha over 2. So, let's start. So, this one now is our formula. So, that is equal to, let's change sine alpha. Our sine alpha is 4/5. So, replace natin yan over. We have 1 plus. Our cosine alpha is 3/5. So, it becomes now 1 plus 3/5. And that is equal to, let's simplify our denominator. So, let's copy numerator over, simplify our denominator. So, this one now is the result. So, we have the LCD. The LCD is 5. So, 5 divided by 1, that is 5 times 1. That's why it becomes 5. And then, copy the plus sign. 5 divided by 5, that is 1 times 3. That's why it becomes 3. So, again, let's simplify our denominator. So, copy lang natin sa numerator over, so 5 plus 3, that is 8. So, meaning, it becomes 8 over 5. And to simplify this one, let's multiply both sides, both numerator and denominator by the reciprocal of our denominator. So, that is 5 over 8. So, yan. So, meaning, our denominator now becomes 1. And ito, pwede rin natin makancel ang pares na 5. So, the result now is negative 4/8. So, the exact value now, or the value per tangent, alpha over 2 is equal to negative 1/2. So, this one now is the final answer.